السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you? Unit 9 Cities Around the World Lessons 1 and 2. Unit 9 Cities Around the World مدن حول العالم. Conversation time. Lesson 1 Cities. Cities. Captain. Captain. Questions. Questions. Pilot. Pilot. Abroad. Abroad. Once. Once. Always. Always. Around. Around. Newspaper. Newspaper. How many? How many? Airlines. Airlines. Overseas. Overseas. Month. Month. Co-pilot. Co-pilot. The world. The world. A few. A few. Female. Female. 1/3. 1/3. Flight. Flight. Plane. Plane. Women. Women. Chef. Chef. How often? How often? Conjugation of verbs. تصريفات الأفعال. Regular verbs. Interview. Interview. Interviewed. Interviewed. Ask. Ask. Ask it. Ask it. Work for. Work for. Work it for. Work it for. Irregular verbs. Think. Thought. Fly. Flew. Expressions and phrases. Go ahead. Go ahead. My pleasure. My pleasure. Characters of the conversation. شخصيات المحادثة. Captain مروة. ليلى. رامي. Layla and Rami are at the airport. They are making an interview with Captain Marwa for the school newspaper. They are asking her some questions about her job. ليلى ورامي في المطار. إنهم يجريان مقابلة شخصية مع قائدة الطائرة كابتن مروة للجريدة المدرسة ويسألونها بعض الأسئلة عن وظيفتها. 1. Captain Marwa, we would like to interview you for our school newspaper. Could we ask you a few questions? Captain Marwa, we would like to interview you. نود أن نجري معك حوار. For our school newspaper. لجريدة المدرسة. Could we ask you a few questions? ممكن أسألك بعض الأسئلة. Sure. Go ahead. Sure. Go ahead. 2. How many female pilots work for your airline? How many female pilots work for your airline? كم عدد الطيارين الإناث اللائي يعملن في الخطوط الجوية الخاصة بكم. I think 1/3 of the pilots are female. I think 1/3 of the pilots are female. أعتقد أن ثلث الطيارين إناث. 3. Do you ever fly abroad? Do you ever fly abroad? Yes, I have an overseas flight once a month. Yes, I have an overseas flight once a month. نعم، أنا أقوم برحلة جوية للخارج مرة كل شهر. Do you fly the plane by yourself? Do you fly the plane by yourself? هل تقودين الطيارة بمفردك؟ No, I always have a co-pilot. No, I always have a co-pilot. دايما بيكون معايا مساعد طيار. Do you like being a pilot? Do you like being a pilot? هل تحبين عملك كقائدة طيارة؟ Yes, very much. Yes, very much. Thanks for your time, Captain مروة. شكرا على وقتك كابتن مروة. My pleasure. بكل سرور. Language functions. 1. Polite request. الطلب بطريقة مهذبة. فاعل would like to infinitive. كابتن مروة, we would like to interview you for our school newspaper. نود أن نجري معك حوارا لجريدة المدرسة. Could subject infinitive. Could we ask you a few questions? هل يمكننا أن نسألك قليل من الأسئلة؟ Could we ask you a few questions? Sure, go ahead. Sure, go ahead. تفضل. Note ملحوظة. A few معناها قليل من، ويجي بعدها اسم جمع، بعدها اسم يعد يكون جمع. Could I ask you a few questions? Could I ask you a few questions? Number 2. Asking about the numbers. السؤال عن الأرقام. How many? Plural. Noun. اسم جمع. How many بعد اسم جمع. How many female pilots work for your airline? كم عدد الطيارين الإناث الذي يعملن في الخطوط الجوية الخاصة بكم؟ I think 1/3 of the pilots are female. أعتقد أن ثلث الطيارين إناث. Number 3. Asking about repeated action in present. Do, does. فاعل ever. Do, I, we, they, you. Does, he, she, it. بعدها ever. هل أنت معتاد أم؟ Do you ever fly abroad? Yes, I have an overseas flight once a month. 4. Asking about likes. السؤال عما نحب. Do, you, they أو اسم جمع like فعل مضاف له ing infinitive plus ing. Do you like being a pilot? هل تحبين عملك كقائدة طائرة؟ B. Yes, very much. نعم كثيرا جدا. Unit 9. Checkpoint. Listen and complete. هاني, could we ask you a few questions? Captain Marwa, sure, go ahead. Hani, how many female pilots work for your airlines? Captain Marwa, I think 1/3 of the pilots are female. Hani, do you ever travel abroad? Captain Marwa, yes, I have an overseas flight once a month. Answers. Sure, how, think, ever. Conversation time exercise. 1. Listen and circle. 1. How many female pilots work for your airline? A. 1/3 of the pilots are female. 2. How often do you have an overseas flight? A. 3 times a week. 3. A. Do you like being a pilot? Yes, I do. 4. Could we ask you a few questions, please? Sure. Answers. 1. A. 2, 3 times a week. 4, do you like paying a pilot? 4, could we ask you few questions, please? Number 2, listen and complete. Hisham, could I ask you a few questions? Mr. Nabil, sure, go ahead. Hisham, how many female teachers work for your school? Mr. Nabil, I think 20 teachers. Hisham, do you like being a teacher? Mr. Nabil, yes, very much. Answers: ahead, many, like, very. Number 3, choose a correct answer. 1. Huda is a male, female, boy, man pilot. Huda is a female pilot. Number 2. How many female pilots? كم عدد الطيارين الإناث work for your school, museum, airline, bank. airline يعني خط جوي طبعا airline. Number 3. Sure, go ahead, went ahead, goes ahead, going ahead. الجواب go ahead. Number 4. We would like to pass, read, interview, play Captain Marwa for the school newspaper interview. يجري مقابلة. Number 5. How many, how much, how far, how long female pilots work for your airline? How many? Number 6. A chef, teacher, farmer, co-pilot, helps يساعد the pilot الطيار and works for the airline ويعمل لدى الخطوط الجوية. طبعا الجواب co-pilot. Number 7. Do you like paying? P was is a pilot. بعد like فعل مضاف له ing paying. Number 8. My teacher asked me much, a little, a few, a lot questions. My teacher asked me a few questions. أسئلة قليلة. Number 4. Circle the odd word and replace it with a correct one. 1. Female, pilot, chef, nurse. Female أنثى ونحط اسم وظيفة teacher, doctor, co-pilot. Number 2. Think, fly, month, ask. Months, play, go, أي فعل like. Number 3. Plane, car, bus, third, train, قطار, train. Number 5. أو bus. 4. Pilot, fly, doctor, teacher, fly, chef, nurse. 5. How, what, where, when. where نحط لها اتش هنا هتبقى أداة استفهام where طبعا. Number 5. Read the passage and answer the questions. Mustafa and Sami are writing for the school newspaper. They are making an interview with a female pilot about her job. Captain Huda told them that 1/3 of pilots who work for her airline are female. كابتن هدى أخبرتهم إن ثلث الذين يعملون في شركة الطيران دي are female. She has an overseas flight twice a month. عندها رحلة طيران للخارج مرتين في الشهر. She doesn't fly the plane by herself. لا تطير الطائرة بنفسها. She always has a co-pilot. دايما معاها مساعدة طيار. مصطفى and Sami thanked her and at the end of the interview في نهاية الحوار. Choose the correct answer. 1. Captain Huda works as a nurse, pilot, doctor, co-pilot. She works as a pilot. Number 2. 2/3 ثلثي 2/3 of pilots are male, female, children, old people in Captain Huda's airline. هو قال التلت إناث يبقى ثلثين إيه؟ ذكور. male يعني ذكور. Number 3. What are Mustafa and Sami writing for? مصطفى وسامي بيكتبوا الإيه؟ For school newspaper إلى جريدة المدرسة. 4. How often does Captain Huda have an overseas flight? Twice a month. مرتين في الشهر. Number 6. Rearrange the following words to make correct sentences. 1. Questions. We, a few, you, could. Ask. Could we ask you a few questions? Number 2. Interview, newspaper, we would, school, you, our, like, to, for. We would like to interview you for our school newspaper. Word time. Lesson 2. Main vocabulary. Capitals and cities. العواصم والمدن. Rome, Rome, Rome. Cairo, Cairo. Tokyo, Tokyo. London, London. Seoul, Seoul. New York City, New York City. Paris, Paris. Honolulu, Honolulu. San Francisco, San Francisco. Hong Kong, Hong Kong. Vocabulary. What, what. Heavy, heavy. Night, night. Often, often. Conjugation of verbs. تصريفات الأفعال. Want, wanted. Need, needed. See, saw. Come, came. Lit, lit. Drink, drank. Expressions and phrases. What a cool plane. What a cool plane. Let me help you. Let me help you. Listen and repeat. Rome, Rome. Cairo, Cairo. Tokyo, Tokyo. London, London. Seoul, Seoul. New York City, New York City. Paris, Paris. Honolulu, Honolulu. San Francisco, San Francisco. Hong Kong, Hong Kong. Checkpoint. Circle the odd word and replace it with a correct one. 1. Cairo, London, Paris. Cool, cool. Rome. 2. Train, leg, bus, plane, leg. Car. 3. Plane, Seoul, Paris, Tokyo, Cairo. 4. co-pilot, night, pilot, captain, night, doctor, teacher. 5. English, Rome, Cairo, Tokyo. English, Paris, London. Listen and point. Boy 1. What a cool plane. Boy 2. I want to see it. Boy 1. No. Boy 2. Come on. Let me see it. Girl. I can't lift this by myself. It's so heavy. إنه ثقيل جدا. كريم. Here. Let me help you. Here. Let me help you. Girl. Thanks. Thanks. Mona. Do you ever fly at night? Do you ever fly at night? Pilot. Yes, I often fly at night. I need a lot of coffee. Mona. How much coffee do you have? Pilot. I usually drink 4 cups of coffee. Language functions. Asking about quantity. السؤال عن الكمية. عشان أسأل عن الكمية بستخدم كلمة how much. بعدها اسم لا يعد. How much uncountable. Noun. A. How much coffee do you have? كم كمية القهوة التي تتناولها؟ B. I usually drink 4 cups of coffee. I usually drink 4 cups of coffee. Listen and complete. Kareem. Do you fly at night? Pilot. Yes, I often fly at night. So I have a lot of coffee. Kareem. How much coffee do you drink? Pilot. I usually drink 4 cups of coffee. Kareem. Do you like paying a pilot? Pilot. Yes, very much. Answers. Often, drink, cups, paying. Word time exercise. 1. Listen and circle. How did you go there? P. I went there by bus. 2. Where is she from? Where is she from? She's from Cairo. 3. When did you go to New York? In April. 4. How many cups of coffee do you have? I have 3 cups of coffee. Answers. 1. I went there by bus. 2. She is from Cairo. 3. When did you go to New York? 4. How many cups of coffee do you have? Choose the correct answer. 1. Cairo, London, Paris, Honolulu is the capital of Egypt. عاصمة مصر. Cairo. 2. Paris, Tokyo, Seoul, Rome is in Italy. في إيطاليا. Rome عاصمة إيطاليا. 3. Tokyo, Paris, Rome, London is the capital of England. عاصمة إنجلترا. London. 4. London, Paris, Honolulu, Cairo is in the USA. في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. Honolulu. Cairo, Egypt. Paris, France. London, England. الجواب Honolulu. USA. الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. Number 5. I can't lift it by myself, himself, herself, itself. It's so heavy. Myself. That's all. 6. Tokyo is where was the capital of Japan. Tokyo is. 7. Let me help. Help is. Helped. Helping you. Let me help you. 8. Do you ever fly on at in for night at night بالليل. 3. Write a paragraph of 7 sentences at the airport في المطار. Last week I went to the airport. ذهبت إلى المطار. I went there with my father. ذهبت مع أبي. We went by car. My uncle was coming from London. عمي كان قادما من لندن. I saw a female pilot. شفت قائدة طيارة أنثى. There are about 1/3 of the pilot are female. ثلث الطيارين إناث. I want to be a pilot one day. أتمنى إني أكون طيارة في يوم من الأيام. Number 4. Rearrange the following words to make correct sentences. 1. Yesterday. 2. Went. Paris. She went to Paris yesterday. Number 2. You do ever at fly night. Do you ever fly at night? Punctuate the following. 1. He went to Rome in August. ذهب روما في أغسطس. طبعا روما أغسطس بس. Number 2. Where حرف W capital G from question mark.